I'm going to divide all of the different things that we're going to talk about here today into 3 categories. Get your foot in the door, finding opportunities, building interest. And so starting with getting your foot in the door, regardless of what you sell, it is difficult to get a hold of the prospects that we're going after. And one thing that we can do to decrease that challenge is to use a multi-touch approach. Email, phone, voicemail, social media, direct mail, cold walking, networking, search engine optimization, content marketing. It's also using a multi-touch approach to reach out with multiple contact attempts. Because we're reaching out to the prospect with multiple contact attempts, we can take our message that we want to communicate to the prospect and we can divide that large message up. For example, if we know we're going to send multiple emails to the prospect, instead of saying everything that we have to say in the first email, and then in email 2, just repeat the same message, or to say, did you see my first message? What we can do is divide our total message into smaller stories or smaller chapters, and then send part of our message in those individual emails to educate the prospect over a period of time on who we are, how we can help, and why they should spend their valuable time talking with us. You have to use automation in any way that you can. And one of the easiest areas to apply this is automating your email messages. The more you can automate, the more you'll protect and save your valuable time and then be able to use that in other areas. But the other reasons that this is critical is that, as I just mentioned, we're going to have to reach out multiple times, and automating those emails will help you with that repetition. But another reason that automation and automating your emails is helpful is that it's difficult to reach out, to call and email the contact at the exact time when they need your product or service. And when you're able to properly set up your email automation and your email campaigns, you can continue to reach out to the contact over a large period of time. And this can improve your odds of either A, reaching out to the prospect closer to the time when they need your product or service, or to improve your ability to stay fresh in their mind so that they think of you when it's time to purchase your product or service. Now at SalesScripter, we are a big adopter of email automation, and we actually use 2 different tools for email automation. We use SalesScripter to automate our cold outreach, where we're sending cold email messages to target prospects. But we also use MailChimp to automate our email drip campaigns and our lead nurturing campaigns. And we are not affiliated with MailChimp in any way, but I think they have a great email marketing platform. And the way that we use this is that if you go to our website and you opt in to receive our free ebooks from our website, you'll get added to our ebook email campaign, and you'll get an email with a sales tip or helpful video every few days, and that expands to every week or 2. And this improves our ability to stay fresh in your mind so that when you reach a point where you think that you might need what we sell, we can be there. Now, there are certainly things that you can do to improve your ability to find opportunities. You can research the businesses, look for any news events, problems, or opportunities where the solution that you sell can bring value to that business. But certainly, I believe the best way to find opportunities is by asking good questions. It's one thing to get people on the phone, but being good at extracting valuable information during those brief conversations will be the key to you finding opportunities. Now, a lot of salespeople believe in top-down selling, where you're primarily reaching out and trying to meet with the top of the organization, such as the CEO, the business owner, the C-level, VP level. And I know a lot of salespeople that feel that reaching out to any other level is a waste of time, because this is where the power is, the authority to purchase. This is where the money lies. And I agree with that. Although one factor is that the higher you go in the organization, the more difficult it is to get in and the more difficult it is to talk to these people. And with that, I personally believe in a parallel approach where it's not just top-down selling, it's top-down and bottom-up selling at the same time. Because at the lower levels is valuable information. The frontline managers, such as the directors, the department manager, maybe even the frontline worker, the contributor, those people have very valuable knowledge as as to what's going on in the business or in the organization. And it's this knowledge that can help you to find opportunities. So certainly I agree with reaching out to the top level, but at the same time, you can also reach out to the middle and lower levels, and these people are often easier to reach. And this can be extremely valuable because these conversations can help you to gather information, and that information can tell you two things. Either A, it can help you to find an opportunity, and then you can take that opportunity and tailor your message and your outreach to the top and letting them know the areas where you can help very specifically. Or the findings that you gather at the lower level might let you know that there's not an opportunity there. And this can help you to save your valuable time and prevent you wasting time reaching out and trying to meet with the C-level at that business. Now, if you sell software, you probably spend a lot of your time calling into and trying to meet with IT. It's the IT department that often purchases software, that manages software. So that's who we need to sell to, and that's who we need to try to meet with. But not only is IT a very difficult department to get into because they're getting hit from all sides from so many different types of salespeople, but it's actually the business units that are often a more productive area for you to spend your time for a couple reasons. First of all, they can often be easier to get into in terms of getting people on the phone or scheduling meetings. But in addition to that, it's the business unit that often is the consumer of the software that you sell. If you sell inventory management software, yes, IT manages the software. IT might actually be the department to purchase the software, but it's the operations department that is using the software to order and purchase and manage the inventory, or it's the finance department that's using the inventory software to run reports and perform financial analysis. With that, it's the business unit that is actually the consumer of the software that we sell. And so in your attempt to generate leads and find opportunities, you can often have more success selling to the business unit, calling into operations, calling into finance, and talking to them about the areas where your software can help to find those opportunities. So once you get engaged, you definitely need to improve your ability to build interest. What the prospect cares most about is what's in it for me. Yes, you might sell some very cool software that's very innovative and does some great things, but at the end of the day, you need to answer the question of what's in it for the prospect. And what salespeople can often do is follow their natural instinct to talk primarily about the product they sell, what it does, but that does not answer the question of what's in it for me. It's the benefits that the product delivers that answers the question of what's in it for me for the prospect. So instead of talking about what the product you sell does, focus more on the improvements that the product and features create. And so just to give you a quick example here, I use this example in many videos because it's so simple and something that we can all picture, and it's using the product of trying to sell a health club membership. And the features that come with that membership are access to weight machines, a lap pool, treadmills, yoga studio, personal training. And if you go try to sign up for a health club, in most cases, the salesperson will take you on a tour and show you the product. The problem with that is that those are features, those are not the benefits. The benefits from using a health club membership and using the machines and the treadmills is that if we use that every day, we will become healthier. We might become more attractive. We can decrease the stress that we have. We might be able to sleep better at night. We might improve our personal relationships. We might create better career opportunities. And when you add all of this up, we might transform our life. Now look at the two differences in these two columns. Which salesperson is going to be more successful? The salesperson that's talking about treadmills or the salesperson that's talking about transforming your life? Which salesperson will have more success closing the deal on that health club membership? Which salesperson is communicating more clearly what's in it for me for the target prospect? And you can apply the same dynamic to the software that you sell. Instead of focusing on the features of the software, focus more on the improvements that the software can deliver. And you can use this very basic example as a tool when you're talking with prospects. When you're getting into all the details and having a good conversation, you can stop and think to yourself, Am I talking about treadmills and weight machines, or am I talking about transforming your life? Another thing that you can do to build more interest with the prospects that you communicate with is to tailor your message more to that individual buyer that you're communicating to. For example, if you can sell your software to different industries, those different industries may have different terminology or different pain points. And when you can tailor your emails or what you talk about in meetings to that different industry, you can improve your ability to generate more interest. Another example of using this is going back to the suggestion of selling to the business unit. If you shift from trying to sell to IT and move more towards selling to operations or to finance, that could be a different sales message. Finance and operations care about different things than IT. And when you realize that, you can focus more on the interest of that department or the pain points of that department. And you don't forget to talk about the business impact in terms of business improvements. And we talked a lot about this in the previous video where we showed you how to create your sales message. And when you map out the technical improvements, those often work their way up to create business improvements. And it's by talking about the business improvements and the business pain is where you will take your game of building interest to the next level. And it's not just talking about pain in general. Try to improve your ability at finding the prospect's pain that you can solve with your software, with your product or solution. You can then introduce your product and its features as a solution to the prospect's problems, and this will help you to build more interest. There is some sort of return on investment that you can calculate for the product that you sell. If your software costs $1,000, but your software saves $100 per month, the break even on your software is 10 months. That's a very important number to talk about with your prospects instead of just focusing on the $1,000 cost. And if the break even is 10 months, the return on investment is 100% in less than 2 years. You could take your ROI calculation to the next level and create a business case, which is just more details around all of the different factors involved and all of the different variables. One of the best ways to build more interest is to simply share customer examples. It is also a very efficient way of you explaining how your software works, what it does, and also establish more credibility. That's our rapid fire list. And in the next video, we are going to talk about how to structure and organize your meetings and presentations with prospects. If you want more help, the best place to go is salesscripter.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.